In the beginning of the year, I actually went China and Japan. It was roughly 1.5 months, and I decided to keep like a travel art journal and a junk journal and a travel diary. It's very messy. I thought I would do like a journal flip through video with you today. I'm gonna preface this by saying that some of the art are really quite basic. This journal is more for me to remember this travel, and so yeah, here goes nothing. The book itself is actually a traveler's notebook. I think it has 80 pages, so it actually wasn't enough pages for me to document, and I had to add like extra papers at the back, which is why some of the pages don't match. I wrapped the book in this map of Nara. This is the Nara City Museum. I love wrapping my travel journals in maps. Just adds such an intimate touch. So the first page is title like China and Japan 2025. I spent only 5 days in Beijing, and so I actually didn't do so much things in China. I got this like Singapore crab in the airport. It didn't come out very well. They have this like fei da chu, which is and they're famous for their stir-fried beef. It was so good. It comes like with its own like mini wok and with fire at the bottom, and you can just like heat stuff. And we also ordered like a giant iced lemon tea and some other dishes, which I can't remember the names at the moment. Here's a picture of it. It doesn't look so appetizing on my picture, but I assure you it tastes fantastic. This label came along with the iced lemon tea, paper decoration that came along with the dish, and I just kept it. And here's like a collage of all the packaging and stuff that I had in China. So I was visiting my friend, and she was actually originally from Yunnan, and her sister had actually just returned from Yunnan, and they brought back these rose petal biscuit. This was the packaging of the rose petal biscuit. This is a famous attraction in Beijing. I also tried the Lao Beijing Douzhi fermented soya bean drink from Beijing. It's a bit of an acquired taste, some kind of like a yogurt with really intense smell, and I have to admit it was not for me. Boarding pass, tea that I drank, the bread, seeds, oranges that we ate. The fruits in China was so fresh and so affordable. So blown away. So kept the receipt. This is Xiaoxiang Chaoshi, Little Elephant Supermarket. I always start my travel journal with the idea that it's just going to be a simple journal. And because I've only spent like 5 days in Beijing, so the China travel only has like this few pages. And then as the trip progresses, you will see that my journal becomes more and more elaborate. I don't know, it wasn't my plan to make it too elaborate. I wanted it to be easy and stress-free, but it doesn't always work out that way. 5 days later, I'm in Japan. So this is my boarding pass. My bag broke first day I arrived in Japan. I had to buy a bag. Received from Donkey and some random stuff. I received this digital art picture from someone I met at the dorm. I had given her a picture I drew myself, and she gave me this bag in return. First day of the trip, one of my worst sleeping experience in Japan because I had such terrible roommates. Throughout the entire night, people were like packing their bag, ruffling their stuff, walking up and down. Not the best experience. I started the first few days in Wakayama, and then the second day I went to Tomogashima, which is a little abandoned island. It is famous for its World War II bunkers, and this is like a view of one of the lookout points on the island. It was a pretty warm day, 16 to 17 degrees. I actually did a little hike around the island. It has one little cafe and a couple of vending machines, so it's not exactly like totally abandoned. It's very much a tourist attraction now. Yeah, some cutouts from travel brochures. So I actually have to take a train from Wakayama to Kada, if I'm not wrong. So this is like a little fishing town, and then I take a ferry to Tomogashima. So this is the Tomogashima lighthouse. This is the Meideitai train. The next day I still went back to Kada. I went back for the Hina Hina Nagashi festival. The terrible thing about that day was, which is the next day, I actually overslept. And so I didn't really manage to witness the entire Hina Nagashi, which was really sad. But I did manage to photograph a little bit of stuff, and I saw the Mikos wearing their white gi and red hakama, handing out like snacks and drinks and all that. It was super cold that day. Like the temperature went for a sudden dip, and this was around the time where the entire Japan like had a cold front, and so that's why it was so cold. The next day I took the Kishigawa line to visit the cats. This is Nico Captain. I think his name is Tamachan. He is the captain of Kishi Station. This is the Wakayama Station. This is the Itakiso Station, and this is the Kishi Station. This station has a kitten at the station. Sadly, when I was there, they were both asleep. There was also like a Natsume Yojincho 22nd year anniversary when I was there. So anyone who bought the one-day pass would have a special like brochure for you to stamp your Natsume Yojincho stamps. So I stuck some of the random ephemeral that I bought on this day. I bought like a washi tape at Kishi Station, and this is the washi tape label. And then I went to Tokyo. Terrible itinerary planning, like to run all the way from Osaka to Tokyo and then come back to Osaka it's definitely not the way to plan a trip. But I'm just gonna put it out there and say I know what I'm doing. I just had to go to Tokyo in that period. So this is my first meal in Tokyo. So it's a little sketch I did there. The 7th of March, I went to Muran Kaigan. I might have gotten the name wrong, so I think it might be Mura Kaigan, Sanpu Hai'an. It's basically a seaport little town, but they have some of the most beautiful sakuras I saw on the trip. 7th of March is actually a little bit too early for sakuras, but this breed was like full blown on the 7th of March. It takes 2 hours from Tokyo to Muran Kaigan, but in my opinion it was pretty worth the trip. Oh, I have a random stamp, but I think I got the date wrong. This should be in March, not February. Oh man. Okay, anyway, there's a little sketch I did. I had barbecue with one of my friends. Also saw some cherry blossom with the Tokyo Tower. This is Azabudai Hills. It was really nice to get a shot of this place with the Tokyo Tower. I was helping to take care of someone's dog when I was in Tokyo. And this is the little dog. Isn't he cute? Random photographs of Tokyo. Tokyo just seems like this really nostalgic city pop vibe. Metropolitan, yet it seems a little bit stuck in the 90s. I don't know, like it's so cute though. Like it's a mix of tradition and modern. So food that we ate, we had like coffee. Bought the 3 days Hakone pass, and this was one of the ferry that I took. This was actually my first trip to Hakone, by the way. As in, I've been to Japan many times, but I've never been to Hakone. So it was pretty interesting. But I did manage to do a bit of hiking. I hiked Mount Sengen, Qianjian-san, which is only 804 meters. But it was really cold. And to be honest, I felt like this hike was a lot more difficult than the Kumano Kodo hike that I did towards the middle of the trip. So this is the Odawara Castle, which I also visited. It's been a while, so I don't actually remember all the details, so please forgive me. I bought a bag and donkey, and I like the fun thing about Japan is the tourist attraction places, they almost always have stamps, so it's really fun. So this was actually stamped on paper napkins that I got for free at the restaurants. And look at how well it sticks. Like you can barely notice a difference in texture, right? Wakudani, you need to take a ropeway, like a cable car-ish ropeway to get to the top. So it's basically like a sulfuric ash or volcanic ash onsen town. Obviously, I didn't go there for onsen. I just went there and had their onsen eggs. I also had like a tempura udon when I was there. So just random cuts out from the catalog. It was cold and gloomy and I didn't see anything because it was so foggy. It was pretty underwhelming, as you can see from my expression. Oh, and then the last day I went to Hakone Jinja, which is famous Instagram spot. There was a queue when I was there, so I didn't really bother. Maybe next time I will, but yeah, this is Hakone Shrine. I went to the Gotemba Premium Outlet on the last day. I went there only because it promises to possibly have some nice view of Mount Fuji, and it was part of the package. Like you could take the bus all the way to Gotemba Premium Outlet and come back. So that's why I went. But I was pretty disappointed. So the last day, I found a pretty nice place, Circle Hakone. It's a new Indian Nepalese restaurant. So I had like their naan, and then I found another place near the train station that's like a cafe with food onsen and a nice view of the place. I didn't manage to like get a spot where I could drink my tea and coffee with onsen and the view, so I just boring indoor space, which with a nice view though, so that was still worth it. And I kid you not, like this was Miyanoshita station, which is the station I had to go, and like this is the incline that one has to climb to reach the station. It was not a joke. This is how bad it is. This was the day that I went all the way from Hakone to Nagoya, which is a very long distance. I wouldn't recommend anyone do this trip like what I have. So and I was really upset with myself because I accidentally missed one of my transfer trains in Tokyo. I nearly missed my long distance bus to Nagoya. So this is me feeling very upset with myself. This is my angry me, and this is like stupid me, and I'm just like smacking myself for missing my train. I was actually at the train station at the right time, but I was looking at the wrong platform, so I had to rush all the way to Nagoya because I wanted to attend the Honnen Matsuri, which is the famous penis festival, or rather the fertility festival. So it was really very interesting. I saw these two interesting people. One guy had this like penis head dress, another cross-dressing as a lady with huge tits, like a cow lady with huge tits. It was a great event despite the rain. The wooden penis that they had to transport from one of the shrines to the other shrines, and throughout the parade there would be community volunteers like these ladies that would like give out sake or snacks, and I got a few. I was very happy to have free food. And then some of the ladies will also have smaller wooden penis that they would just like go around inviting people to touch it. I think it's when you touch it, it's like you'll be blessed with fertility, and I just couldn't help myself. The highway stamps I got from Tokyo to Nagoya. I made like a little sleeve thing. So this is the Nagoya Castle, Atsuta Jingu. This is the famous Shizuoka bookstore in. This was my hostel, G-Local Nagoya Backpackers. It was great, probably one of the best hostel I had this entire trip. And some labels from Uniqlo. It was so cold. I bought some extra clothing when I was there. I bought like a lamp wool sweater and an ultralight down. So there's an extra stuff, ephemeral. I had like a sakura tea and matcha in Nagoya Castle. The Nagoya Castle was actually pretty interesting. It was a pretty big castle, and when I was there they had like actors dressed up in the period drama. I'm not sure who exactly they were dressed up as, walking around taking pictures with people. This is like a stamp rally from the Kishigawa line. So more stamps. I went from Nagoya to Osaka to Kitanabe, which is a very long journey. Express bus to Osaka from Nagoya. I reached Kitanabe in the late afternoon, I think. I was actually in Kitanabe to do the Kumano Kodo hiking trail. It's a famous pilgrimage journey in Japan. Basically a true hike that has some options to take the bus in between if you choose your spots correctly. So basically I had to bring all my stuff from spot A to spot B, and then I'll stay at spot B for the night. So something to make hike extra fun is all these stamps that you can collect at every different point. Obviously some of them didn't have like ink, and so they didn't come out very well. So Yatagarasu is a divine messenger and a mascot of like Kumano Kodo area. This is the reason why I need to have the book. If I don't have the book, I would forget almost everything. I would forget everything that I could forget. So this is like, small stamps. My first night on the Kumano Kodo trail, which is at Chikatsuyu. I had a pretty nice hostel. This is my hostel in Kitanabe. Very cute. And then I met this two lovely couple, and meals was included in the hostel. So I had my dinner and breakfast there. Also, when I was climbing, I met this cute Australian couple. I dropped my gloves, and my husband actually picked it up for me and kept it on him, hoping to like meet me further up, and they did. So he kept it for like a few kilometers, and that was very sweet of them. So I treated them to coffee at the midpoint. The next day, there was an unexpected snowstorm in Chikatsuyu. So the next day, the journey was supposed to be from Chikatsuyu to Yunomine Onsen. It's a famous little onsen place. It was supposed to be the most difficult hike of the trip. I think it's supposed to be 23 kilometers with quite a bit of incline. But because of my poor planning, and because of the sudden snow, and because my gear are all not snow ready, like I only had like a poncho. So basically, I abandoned most of the hike. It was a pretty sad day. Not only because of the weather, and because I was so unprepared for such extreme cold. And I waited for an full hour in the cold for the bus. And then the bus driver was not very nice at all. I know you're supposed to board the bus from the back, but I went to the front just to confirm but this was the right bus for me, because sometimes the bus directions is so confusing. So I just wanted to make sure, but the bus driver was not very kind at all. And to make matters worse, she was very nice to two Caucasian tourists when they asked her questions. But when I asked her questions, she was just very frustrated and stuff. So everyone thinks that everyone in Japan is nice and polite and all that. They mostly are, but if you're in rural places, which this area is actually considered kind of rural, you have to be prepared to, not everyone's gonna be as nice as everyone you meet in Tokyo. The next day, I hiked from Yunomine Onsen to Kumano Hongo, which is very close by, and met some of the nice people I met. I also went to Kawayu Onsen, which I walked to Kawayu Onsen, and then that place was like a natural onsen place. It's a river, and beside the river, if you dig into certain places, natural hot water would actually just jet out, and then it becomes like a natural hot spring like this. I met two Australian ladies who were enjoying themselves, and they invited me to join them. It was so fun. I loved it. So some of the other hostel people I met at my hostel, we had a really good chat. Some pictures of the Yunomine Onsen. The Yunomine Onsen is famous for the Tsuboyu bath. The next day, I hiked from Kumano Hongo to Hoshinmon Oji, and then back to Yunomine Onsen, because I was staying in Kumano Hongo for 2 nights. So that's why I did like a loop. The fun part about this trip was I actually tried making my own hiking stick from random stick in the forest. I just rubbed it, and then I'm just gonna quickly go through because there's too much details. Yep, and then I went to Shingu, probably one of my most favorite memory of the trip. It's a small little town. I bought some like marinated beef and then some yomogi daifuku. I was in Shingu. I went to the beach because this is the beach, and then I met this really cute kitten, and the kitten was so friendly and just came out to me and like started snuggling and stuff. And then I was just lamenting to myself that, oh my god, I don't have any food for you. And then before I know it, a random Oji-san, uncle, just drove up in his scooter and asked if I wanted to feed the cat. And he gave me like cat feed. You see, that's my hand. That's wonderful. It's a wonderful place. And then this is like the famous Amikura Jinja. I cycled around Shingu because my hostel actually provided free bicycle, and so I just love Shingu so much. I have such a good memory of the place. The next day I actually went to the Shingu tourist center, and then the staff there was so friendly, and then I did a survey and they gave me a little towel. So wow, Shingu is like my favorite memory of this entire trip, I have to admit. After that I went to Kikatsura, which is a small little town. Yeah, so all my stems, Kikatsura and Shingu are pretty much along the coast, so they are like small little fishing town of some sort. Especially Kikatsura. Kikatsura is very small, but it has a really nice coastal geographic landscape thing. And then I also went to Kumano Kodo Daimon Zaka slopes. Yeah, I can't remember. This is my dinner. It was a nice place. They gave me a little candy thing after my meal. Oh, and then the next day, I checked out from Kikatsura, and then I went to the Hotel Urashima. I did not pick the leaf. It fell into my bag by itself, and so I'm keeping it. So this place is famous for, like, you know, having the onsen inside the cave, and that's how it looks. And they also have stamps. I spent the entire day exploring the Urashima island because I missed my first ferry, and then I had to wait for the ferry, and then when I wanted to come back, there was no ferry to come back, and I have to wait for the next ferry and all that. So yeah, but it's a nice place to get some onsen water. So after that, I went back to Kitanabe to pick up my luggage. Stamps from Nara. When I was at the Nara SGG club, which was one of the places to get my stamp, the volunteer staff there, he wrote my name in kanji, which is really funny. Since I'm Chinese, I know what this means. So this means evil dog inside. So I'm like, oh my god, this is my new name now. I'm an evil dog. Like, see, evil dog, baby. I don't know, I just think it's hilarious. So all these are stamps from Nara, stamp from Nara, stamp from Nara. Nara is like a stamp haven. They have so much stamps and so much stickers. I've already been to Nara quite a few times, and for this trip it was specifically for the cherry blossoms, but because I was kind of early and because of the cold front, there wasn't a lot of cherry blossoms in Nara when I was there. I decided to check out Tenri, which is a small little town beside Nara, and I actually liked it quite a bit. Yeah, they had a really cute like university. I'm not very good at this flip through video thingy, so I hope you'll forgive me. But these are some of the stamps I collected in Tenri. I found like a small little farmers co-op when I was there. I bought something from them, and I also drew a little picture in the guest book. Maybe I'll share some videos of it. And then I went from Nagoya to Osaka. This is Osaka. This is at Shinsekai, one of my most favorite places to stay. Ta-da! And this is one of my favorite rooms in the entire stay. I was having a massive headache on the first day I arrived, so I spent like a part of the afternoon just laying on the sofa, and I had my favorite like ramen in Osaka. I don't even know the name of the restaurant, but it's near Shinsekai. They also have a branch in Dotonbori. Sunscreen I brought in Japan, then Osaka castle stamps. And this was the day I did like my 1 day of sketching Shinsekai and Osaka. This random drawing of coffee this uncle gave me while I was sketching. I spent like 3 days in Osaka and then I went to Kyoto. And then these are some cut up from the ephemerals. This was when the sakura started to bloom, and yeah, it was one of the most beautiful experiences when you have sakura in Kyoto. I went to Sewarite and Fuji on the same day. So some of the ephemeral was a pretty temple, and this is the Goshuin. I didn't actually get any Goshuin, but this was like a demo Goshuin from the catalog in Ryodoin. I ate like some Hanami Dango. This is the label from the Hanami Dango. You have some ephemeral tickets, receipts. This is the Motsunabe I had in Kyoto. Some stickers. No, not really stickers, but these are the characters from Uji's city tourism. I don't know what you call them, but this is Uji prints. The next day I went to Daigoji Temple. I've been to Kyoto many times, but I've never actually been to Daigoji Temple. It's a huge temple with a lot of cherry blossom opportunities, but I would have to say the price of the tickets is actually really expensive. It was around 1,800 yen to enter all the 3 temple zones, so that's $18. But it was a really big place, so I would say I recommend you get there as early as possible, and I fully enjoyed the entire day. Random stamp from 5th of April in the Daigoji temple area. I saw them selling this. It was basically ice cream with whipped cream and azuki baked beans and some white glutinous rice bowl with some cute like pink flour biscuit. I didn't actually manage to get it. I wanted to get it, but I ended up not getting it. So this is just a picture of my imagination of myself enjoying this dessert in the Daigoji temple. And then this is a view of the Kyoto Machiya along the Shirakawa Canal. This is the viral Itokuenmon ice cream. It's 690 yen. Pretty expensive for a small little like paddle pop thing, but that was pretty good. And then at night I went to Chyoin temple. This is the ticket for the temple. I also painted a little gift for my Kyoto host. So the next place I went to Shizuoka. So this is like a stamp of Fujinomiya, my hostel's name card. Kept it because it looks so cute. I did a little painting at Lake Tanuki. Yes, I might share a video of it, but I think I really didn't do very well on this painting. So more pictures of the food I ate, memories of the place. When I was in Shizuoka, I realized that there was this udon specialty place called Marugame Seimei just across the street from my hostel, and I ate there for dinner every night because I loved like specialty udon so much. It was so good. So it was like a tempura udon place. You get the tempura that you want, and then you get like udon as a set. I saw some of the nicest sakura around this area. Some random labels. Saw this like beautiful tea plantation along with cherry blossom. It was a beautiful place with a long line of cherry blossoms and a view of Mount Fuji in the background. Sadly, when I was there, Mount Fuji wouldn't show me his face. For the most part, it was covered. So I went to Daisekiji, the painting of the Daisekiji. The Daisekiji was a surprisingly beautiful place, and I was one of the very few tourists there. Huge place, full of pilgrims and locals, and very, very beautiful. I found this spot. This spot was this random park along a canal. I don't really know what it's called. I think it's called the Yumi River, but it was so pretty. Yeah, I did a painting of Ryurambochi, and I got a lot of I bought a lot of brownies. This like special brownie in Japan is so good. I bought it at the 7-Eleven. The next day it was finally time to leave Fujinomiya, and finally Mount Fuji showed me his face. Some random art of my day. And then the last few days in Tokyo, I went to Toneri Park. I also went to Meguro, the famous Meguro area. I've been to Tokyo so many times, but I've never been to Meguro. We went to the Starbucks roastery, got one of the sakura drinks, and then this is what I get. And then this is some of the beautiful Japanese sweet my friend got me. So this is me imagining how we will look at Meguro River. She had to work, so she couldn't join me at Toneri Park, but this is how I imagine it would be if we could be there together. Label from Sakura Mochi. This is pictures I took at the Toneri Park. And then this is just sticking all the random ephemeral I bought in Japan. Most of them are from my friend. Like, she gave me a ton of goodies from Japan, and this background and this label is actually from the Princi Colomba bakery restaurant in the Starbucks Tokyo roastery. It's an Italian bakery. We didn't actually have this. This is what we have. We had like we had 1, 2, 3, 4 slices of cake, 2 beverage, and 1 lasagna. So it was crazy amount of food for 2 females. So these are all the I acquired from the snacks that she gave me. So pretty snacks. I can't bear to eat them. There's still more packaging and more labels that I can stick onto this book, but there's too much stuff that I can do, and I'm just gonna call it quits at this moment. And some random like labels of like mentaiko or onigiri I bought in the convenience store. All these random pictures. Finally, the last day, some pictures of my omiyage, my boarding pass, Hokkaido Shiroko Ibito candies, cookies that I bought back. When I came back, I flew with SQ, and it was definitely a great experience. Anyone that has flown with Singapore Airlines will know how great they are. And then they gave me this fragile receipts from the airport. The best thing was actually this. This is actually like a label I saved from a drink in Japan. I admit I bought the drink just because of this label, because it just looks so pretty. Doesn't it look so pretty? I'm a sucker for good packaging design, but I didn't know where to stick it, so eventually I stick it behind, and hopefully you can kind of see it. You know, it just adds a dash of color. Stickers from Nara. It's so cute. They have this like city or town character mascot. This is another. I bought the tea just for this packaging. It was a little bit of a hassle to get the label down because it wouldn't stay flat, but oh well, it's good enough. Senbei in individual packaging with like floral accents. There are around 6 to 7 designs, but look how cute they look. Are they not the cutest? I cannot bear to finish eating them because so I need some ideas on what I can do with the packaging. So I kept one of the packaging just for fun, you know, and just to remember the fact that I bought this really tasty senbei, and we made it into a window. I was like, oh my god, I'm so creative. And then it opens up to all this like beautiful pictures from catalogs I kept from Japan. Oh, this is a pull out. More catalogs stuck on because they look so pretty. I cannot help myself. A spread to commemorate me sketching Osaka along with pictures of the drawings. If you're interested in seeing my journey going around Shinsekai and Osaka, just sketching the place, definitely click on the link in the description video. And with all that, I think we are done. Yeah. So thank you for watching, and hope you enjoy and feel inspired to do your own travel journal. It doesn't have to be complicated. I think I definitely made it a little bit too complicated this time, but it really can be as easy as you want it to be. Ultimately, whole benefit of a travel journal is 5 years down the road, it will be such a good memory of what you've done and how you felt on the journey. Like, I am so honest in my journal. Like, I would talk about how I had terrible sleep and my bunkmates were so noisy and things like that, so there's so much more that could have gone into this journal, so much more memories, but I simply do not have the space and capacity for it. But anyway, yes, I hope it inspires you to have fun, and that's all. Bye bye.